Welcome, adventurers, LARPers, and Ren Fair enthusiasts. I am Saint Godric, and today I'm showing you my process for making awards for games like Amtgard, Dagorhir, and Belegarth. Let's get to it. So one of the things that I get asked quite a bit is how I make the awards that I make for various games. So if you're unfamiliar with the Boffer LARPs in America, Amtgard, Dagorhir, Belegarth, there are some awards that go out, whether they're knighting scrolls or whether they're different awards for things that you do in the game, things that you accomplish. We like to celebrate those. And so we make awards, and I'll show some of mine here, some of the ones that people have so graciously made me throughout the years as well. But we go through and we make these, and these can be hand painted. These can be 3D. They can be all sorts of different things. But the area that I am most familiar with, and the ones that I make most of my awards are going to be digital. So in the game of Amtgard, I am a Serpent Knight. Dag and Bell, I am a Knight as well, but they don't have the ANS classifications there. So I just wanted to sit down and show you my process, walk you through from beginning to end how I make an award, and hopefully we can demystify the process and the fear that goes into making these awards, because it's really, really fun. Something that a lot of people don't understand, just when you see an award given at court, and someone walks up and they're standing there in front of everybody and they get an award and they smile or they start to tear up. It's one of the best feelings in the world that you are able to help be a small part of that. So I want to go through, show you my process. Let's jump on in. All right, so first up, let's say that your regent or someone at your park has reached out to you and they want you to make an award for somebody. You might know them, you might not, but this is where I always start. So I am in the Amtgard orc tool, and then we'll go to the wiki here in a minute. The first thing that I do is information gather. I want to go through and find out who this person is, what they like, what the award is, what color should I use? Do they love their fighting company or their park or their kingdom, and kind of go from there. So first up, we're going to use me. I'm just going to make an award today for a theoretical award that I could get. So Winner's Edge is my kingdom. We'll go down here to the Park of Tyrant's Thorn, active players, and I'm going to go look for the person who I am making the award for. If you don't know all of that information, up here in the top right, there is a search bar. You can search the player's name there, which you should be given. The regent generally will reach out and say, hey, I want you to make an award for Godric. It's going to be, let's pick something. It's going to be his 6th Griffin. We'll just call it that. That's what we'll run with today, right? So I want you to make his 6th Griffin. He's from Tyrant's Thorn. So you come here, you look. First up, you see if they have heraldry posted. A lot of people don't. So if you are watching this, go to the wiki, go to the orc. I don't have mine up, but post your heraldry because it helps a lot when people are trying to make you awards. But you can see in my image here, I've got my fighting company colors. Up here, it does have my fighting company listed. So that is probably going to be a hint that is important to me. So we can make a note of that. And once we get to the wiki, take a look at the fighting company. Maybe we incorporate the colors of the fighting company. And you can scroll down and look at the awards, get more information, things like that. That is the first place that I start. And then I go to the wiki and I just look up their name. So Godric Gray, and this is the person who we'd be making the award for. Oh, I'm noticing these same colors again, in the same cross here. So that seems to be important. So maybe I incorporate that into the award that I'm working on. Looks like personal heraldry here. Good to know if I want to incorporate that. Don't have to, but if I want to, I can. Parks, and here's the fighting company again. So you can see the heraldry from the fighting company, same colors. Seems to be important to this person. And then go back through. You can look at notable accomplishments, all this stuff. The main goal of this is just to information gather. You're just trying to get a bunch of ideas. Maybe for the award that is starting to go in your head, it's for this one, Griffin. Maybe I want a battlefield with a big Griffin, and then maybe this in the background or on one of the banners or something like that, right? Just starting to think. And then we'll go from there here, and I'll show you in a second how I actually piece that together. But the first step for making awards is information gathering. Just get all the information that you need. And then what we're going to do, I'm going to open up Illustrator. You can use any program that you want for this. I have the Adobe Suite through my work, so I'm able to use it. If you don't have this, you can use GIMP, which is a free like Photoshop Lite type of thing. Pretty good overall program. And then once this loads up, I'll share my screen over here and I'll get started on what all we want to do. All right, so now I am here in Adobe, and you can see here some of the other awards that I've made and just kind of what they look like. But what we're going to do, we're going to go new file. Over here, depending on what award it is, you might want to go bigger or smaller. 24 by 18 is a huge award. That's more of like a knighting scroll type of thing. Most of them I'll go, 8.5 by 11, just because that's easy to print, easy to find frame for. So we'll do 8.5 by 11. We're going to go a vertical award for this one. We'll have some fun with it. So here is my overall award template. This is where I'm starting with. So the first step that I do, I go to a website. I am not a good artist at all. I have my Master Dragon, but I can't draw to save my life. So I go and I find free to use images online, and I adjust those to my purposes. So the website that I use is called Vector Easy, and I'll show you that now. All right, so this is Vector Easy. You can see right here, incredibly, incredibly useful tool. What we'll do, so say we're doing a griffin, just to see what pops up to get, the creative juices flowing. You search griffin and you come over here and you click where it says free license. Now, anything you see here is going to be able to be used for free. You will not be copywriting anything, or, you won't be stealing someone else's art that you're not allowed to use. The only caveat to this, if you go to enter these type of things into ANS tournaments, make sure you put, star, I got these images from a free to use vector site. I did not make them, another star. So it's bold so the judges know. Not particularly what the goal and the scope of, this is cool. Sorry, I'm jumping ahead of myself. All right. But make sure you throw that in there. You don't want to get caught by judges doing that, or even unintentionally cheating. So what I'll do, I'll search in Griffin, or we'll come back to Griffin just because I already know what I'm going to do, I think. But Rose, right? See, like this could be something that's pretty cool. You can make an award out of that pretty easily if you want to do Rose. Same thing with something like this. Now, it's not necessarily medieval or like LARPy, but it doesn't have to be. I've made one. I've used this template before. Really fun for a Rose template. And you can go in and do the same thing, right, with Dragon or whatever award that you're using or that you're making. You can go in and just pick out, I think this would be cool, or I think this would be cool, and then figure out where you want to go from there. So with the award that we're making today, we're going to use Griffin, and we're going to be on free license. Let's go back a few, because I think, here we go. I think this would be sick. So what I'm thinking about here, I've already got the Griffin. I might put the heraldry of the park or the kingdom or something right here, and then I throw my text here. That's a really easy one, actually. I think that's cool looking. Let me scroll through and look at some of these. That's kind of cool too. Some of these other ones, and see what I want, if there are any that are neat. That's cool. Could do something with that. And what I'm doing is just, see, this banner could be cool too. If I wanted to you can pull each of these individual elements out if you want to. So I could pull this out and throw this into the award. But I think for simplicity's sake, just to show you kind of how easy this can be to make cool awards, I'm going to go with this one. I'm just going to free download it, and it will download here, and then I'm going to pull it up into Illustrator, and we will get to work. So first thing we're going to have to do, that other one that we looked at was horizontal, not vertical. So we're going to create a new window that is horizontal. Then we're going to go in here. All right. So We just loaded it in and it fits perfectly. If it doesn't, what you can do, depending on the program that you're at, for me, it's Control T, but you can go in and adjust all of the size and scale and such here. For me, it is good to go, so I don't have to worry about that. Why is it not doing this then? Okay, I got to let go of it for it to work. Interesting. So if you needed to, you could come in here and adjust it to fit your canvas. Mine, it's perfect how it is, so I don't have to worry about it. So I like this overall. I think it is a cool design. I like the colors. I like the griffin itself. Even though that's not technically a griffin because it's a lion, not a bird. Anyway, we're going to roll with it. I think it's pretty cool. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to come in here. Ooh, not that. That's not what I want. We'll come over here on the side. And we're going to throw some text in here. So I will make sure that I leave this link down in the description below. But this is a random award verbiage generator specifically for Amtgard. And so you can come in here and randomize, and it will essentially spit out, plug and play exactly what you need for this award. So I'm just going to use this one. Haven't even really read over it too much. Copy it. I'm going to take it over to Illustrator, paste it in. All right, so I've got it pasted in to the program here. Don't worry about the font size or anything like that yet. We are just coming in here to fill out the information, and then we'll come in and make it pretty later. So rejoice, for on this day we acknowledge that, and it says put the name here. So we'll do Saint Godric, enter, of, and then you put in the park. Tyrant's Thorn, in the kingdom of this. This is all you're just filling out. Winter's Edge, the information that your regent had given to you through who, there, and now at this point you fill in whatever the person did. Honor in combat. Combat. And then for this, I'm not gonna need for their honor in combat has shown that they are fit to receive this. They're the blank order of, I think it was it 6th. I'm going to capitalize order of the Griffin. So let's go through and make all this a little smaller just for readability's sake. We'll be at 50. Let's put it at 40. Okay. So by my hand, then this would be, in my case right now, this would be the Kingdom Regent, Obscura. Regent of Winter's Edge. And then again, just filling out all the information. And you can put the date in there if you want to. I think this is good enough for what I want to do. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to highlight all of my text. Okay. I am then going to make it a tad bit smaller. And then I'm going to go over here, and you can do this. It'll be different based on the program that you're using. But I'm going to just look for a cool font. And this can be, I have a few that I just I really enjoy. So like this one I'll use. I'm going to center it and bring it back over here. And then we'll start making it look better here in a minute. But I know with this one, I probably want to, with all of my text, I need to put a stroke on it, which is an outline, essentially. I'm going to do white, and I'm going to make it half a point and see what that looks like. And that just kind of makes the text stand out a little bit more. which is what you want. So now we're going to work on line breaks. So this is very important. So one of the things that I see a lot of newer scroll artists do is they put their line breaks in weird spots. So for instance, they would say, for on this day, we acknowledge that Saint, enter, and then Godric of Tyrants, enter, Thorn of when, you know what I mean? And so the key phrases in this text, we want to make sure that we keep them together. So for on this day, we acknowledge that Saint Godric. I want Saint Godric to stay connected. I want Tyrant's Thorn to stay connected. I hope that that makes sense. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to come in here and put an enter, and I'm trying to keep it all relatively the same width. I'm going to come in here, and I'm going to put this comma up here behind Godric because I think that that would look better. Rejoice, for on this day we acknowledge that Saint Godric of Tyrant's Thorn in the kingdom of Winter's Edge. And you see how I kept Winter's Edge together? I'm not separating the key ideas. Need to make sure that they're on the same line with each other. The kingdom of Winter's Edge, through honor and combat, has shown that they are, we're going to enter here and backspace here, that they are fit to receive this. I'm going to do there just because I think that that sounds better. 6th Order of the Griffin. By my hand, enter Obscura, enter Regent of Winter's Edge. Okay. We'll put a period right here. Done. So with this now, we have our text in the font that we want to use in a relatively straightforward line break. This is one of the things, like I said, that a lot of people mess up. Make sure that you come in and you spend some time on this part because you don't want it to come through and, again, keep the main ideas centered together. So now I'm going to come in and I'm going to nitpick a little bit. My stroke over here, I'm going to see what it looks like at one point. That might, I think that looks better. Let's zoom out and see. And then, Control Z. I want this to be centered as close as I can. And then we might even, Control Z. We might even make this a little bigger. At this point, this is where we are just nitpicking to see what we like, see what looks the best. I like this a little bigger. The problem with this is this line right here, the 6th Order of the Griffin, is too long, and it's going over here into the Griffin itself. So we'll come in here and send that down, and you can see that that looks significantly better. We'll come in. I don't like the full point. We'll do of the, yeah, there we go. Cool. So what you can do now, if once you get this how you want it, you can come in and highlight specific words, right? So if I wanted to, I could come in here and make Godric red so that it stands out. I don't think that that looks that good in this background, but it is a really, if you have a more neutral toned background, like a paper or so, like if it looks like old parchment, instead of the sky red background here, you make, like I would make Saint Godric red, and then I would make 6th Order of the Griffin, you know, whatever color that Griffin is. What is that? Red, maybe, I guess. But like if it's dragon, I would make it green. If it's battle, I would make it blue, those type of things. And you can highlight different things with the different text. I don't want to do that unless I could potentially make Godric white. That looks okay. And then if we did Griffin white as well. So I don't like that as much, but we could change the stroke to black. Yeah, I like that. Let's do that up here for St. Godric as well. Change this to black. But now you can kind of see, this is what we were talking about earlier with weird line breaks, right? So what I would want to do, I want what is highlighted to be the only thing on that line. So I will send the word that back to the line above it and hit enter to send St. Godric on his own. And then same thing here. This one might not work as well. We'll see. Yeah, I don't like that. So we might send R back up. Yeah. See, but then the problem, you see the problem we're running into is trying to get it all to fit and get the R. I don't want really anything in the griffin itself. So what we're going to do, we're going to go over here again to the has and send it up a line. There we go. Cool. So now the goal of this, St. Godric has been highlighted and 6th Order of the Griffin has been highlighted. I probably, do I want to change the comma here? I think I do. Again, all I'm doing here is nitpicky. This, you can sit here for hours and just play around with this type of stuff until it's where you want it to be. I like this. Rejoice, for on this day we acknowledge that St. Godric of Tyrant's Thorn in the kingdom of Winter's Edge, who through their honor in combat has shown that they are fit to receive this, their 6th Order, their Griffin, by my hand, Obscura, Regent of Winter's Edge. I think that looks pretty good. None of my text, just a little bit on Thorn, is getting in the way here, but not a whole lot. So what we can do now is, if we want to, which I will just for the sake of example. Generally, I like this how it looks as it is right now. But for example's sake, I'm gonna throw in the crest of my fighting company because that was a big theme that we saw in the orc and in the wiki. So I'll show you how I would incorporate that. So what I've done is I went to the wiki and I just saved the heraldry off of the wiki because that's the most current one. Opened it up. I'm going to copy it, bring it over here, paste. I'm resizing it. I'm holding shift. That's something that will happen in almost all programs. If you don't hold shift, you can make it look all funky. If you hold shift, it keeps the original dimensions just while moving it up and down. So we'll zoom out. So what I think I'm going to do, instead of it being right here, I'm going to see what it looks like by moving the text, moving the text up and moving the shield below it. I think that looks a little better. Yeah, I like that better. And what I could do is I could go right here and then I could put the Tyrant's Thorn logo right here beside it. Let me see if I have that somewhere. All right, so what I've done is I went to the wiki again, just went to the park Tyrant's Thorn, which was all over the wiki for this person, for me. So then I just copy it, paste it. Then I'm going to go back in here and adjust it down to roughly be the same size as my other one. It's a little disproportionate, but I like it. And we'll kind of line these up. Where is over here? Make sure that they are equally lined up and good to go. I'm going to make the Tyrant's Thorn one just slightly bigger. I think I like that. Cool. So that's the award, right? That's what I would send out. I would go in here and save it as a PDF. I would then either print that PDF myself, or I would send the PDF to the regent or whoever's asking you for the award itself. So this is very quick, very easy, and you can go in and do a whole lot more with this type of stuff fairly easily, right? We got the background for free from Vector Easy. We went to the wiki and pulled things that were important to the person that we're giving the award to. We then went to a free to use text generator, plug and play, filled in all the information that we needed, spent a few minutes just kind of making sure that the line breaks are look good and that we're not separating key points through the line breaks. We adjusted it back and forth, threw it all together, and we made an award. So I hope that this has been helpful. If it has, please consider hitting that like and subscribe button. It really does help out the channel. There also is a link in the description down below to my Patreon. If this is something that you got a lot of information out of, that this was helpful, I would greatly appreciate if you'd consider liking, subscribing, and going and checking out the Patreon. Until next time, I'm Saint Godric. Peace.